Okay, so today I wanted to have another awareness chat about an aspect of unconscious female energy. I made a video called Unconscious Feminine that talks a little bit about how unconscious female energy manifests within human beings. And I wanted to touch on another quality today that I can be quite the little trickster, to be honest. And by trickster, I mean can trick you into thinking that it's actually a high vibration, that it's actually a wanted state of being. It masquerades as a wanted state of being. So that which I wanted to talk about is naivety, right? And I speak from experience when I talk about naivety. So first I'm going to say that the way the chakra system works, right? If you think of your mind and body as a house, if you're not in your house, something else will be in your house, whether that's just your unconscious momentum, subconscious momentum, in some cases, entities, energies that latch on to parts of your mind that are vibrating in low energy. A lot of people ask me about entities. How do I get rid of entities? How do you get rid of entities? You locate and recognize and become aware of the part of your mind that invites them in. And among the largest perpetrators of what often invites that in for very empathic people, for very compassionate people, is self-deception and naivety. Self-deception is essentially the lowest vibration in the universe, because if you are the divine manifested and you are being given kind of inner promptings, inner knowledge, the universe is showing you things, right? Your intuition is showing you things. You're knowing things about a situation. You're feeling the psychic energy of a situation. If you talk yourself out of that knowing, that is self-deception. And why is that the lowest vibration in the universe? Because if you deny the way that God is interacting and moving through you as you are denying God. You are in the dark, right? And so naivety is one of those things that can attract an entity, that can attract, right? If you tune into naivety, right? Let's say you really want to manifest the life that you want, and everything is a sign. Everything is a sign. Oh my God, that person, it's a sign that they came into my life, and so I'm gonna hang out with them, right? Your hyper excited, naive mind might not be tuning into the reality of that, right? So people ask, why do I manifest what I don't want? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns? It's because you don't know the difference between what feels good and what does not feel good, right? And so the thing about naivety is that it feels good to people because it's a kind of dissociated, floaty state of being that feels like a high vibration. Oh my God, this is so cool. This building is so beautiful. Meanwhile, your gut is saying oh no, don't go down that hallway, or get out of here. There's something in here that's not really good for you. But you're like, oh my God, it's so cool here. Wow. Do you see how when I act it out, it's maniacal and disconnected? It's not actually a grounded, right? The difference between naivety and joy is it feels like a radiance from the center of yourself, right? Wow. You're just there's a sense of awe and joy and wonder about something. And sometimes that can feel very ecstatic, but naivety is different. And I'm going to tell you a story because stories really illustrate things, right? I was on vacation this summer, and a lady who was showing me around offered to show me a Hindu temple, which was really exciting to me because I've never been to India. I will go to India with my friend Hardeep. Hardeep, if you're watching, I love you. But I've never been. And by the way, Hardeep is not Hindu, he's a Sikh. But anyway, the point is, I love everything. India. I love India. And I was like, wow, I actually I was in Reunion Island, which is not far from India. And there were a lot of Indian people there. There was a Hindu temple, and I was like, I've never been inside. And so I just have to, right? But that day, I wasn't feeling too well. I was undernourished. I was stressed. there was not one cell in my body that wanted to go into that building that day. But the people pleaser in me, right, when the gracious hostess recommended that we stop on the way home, I was like, of course, let's do it. Let's do it, yeah. So I'm with my friend's daughter, who is very intuitive. And she thankfully has not developed the habit of canceling out her intuition. She stubbornly sticks to her intuition. And she set one toe into that temple and she said, oh, I'm not going in there. Nope. And I said, oh, you're picking up on something. I felt it too. But I said, no, but I'm just going to be nice. And I felt it. I felt the reality. And I said, no, I'm just going to people please, essentially. I'm going to people please. So then because I disassociated from my own self-rejection, I went into the naive state. Oh my God, this place is so beautiful. Wow. Look at the peacocks. Wow. Look at the statues, right? It's this floaty, maniacal, disconnected sense of wonder, but it's disconnected. It's naive. Why is it naive? Because it's ignoring information that's in the air. I felt all sorts of off-putting energy in that. And this is not a statement about that religion or the country. It's just this particular place. And the groundskeepers were off-putting as well. So anyways, I leave the place. And long story short, there's an energy attached to my throat. And this doesn't happen to me because I'm aware. I make it a point to occupy my house, right? But my soul my soul's curriculum is about understanding energy, about emphatically understanding the way things work so that I can explain it, so that I can clearly explain it to you. And this thing, it felt like it was choking my throat. And it was an energy associated with the temple. And I asked myself, what inside of my mind would allow this to happen? And it's the sequence of events that I just explained. I didn't feel like going. I made myself do it. Right, at the risk of upsetting the lady and hurting her feelings, which, of course, from now on, I will have no problem doing, or I'll wait at the door, just like my friend's daughter did. I'll listen to myself, right? In my life, the consequences of me not listening to myself are heightened because that's my curriculum, is to only listen to myself. So what I learned was naivety, self-deception and naivety, which are both unconscious female energies, this unconscious female need to people please, to make sure everybody is comfortable, right? In the higher octave, that the healthy female energy is the nurturer. It's the nurturer, right? It's this unending wellspring of love, this soft, beautiful energy, right? But in action, right, in your relative life, if you're being told something, you better listen. And like I said, I can see the unseen world, so to speak, which is not really an unseen world. I don't want to make it seem mysterious and apart from you, right? But I see it clearly. And I can tell you what the consequences are of staying in a disconnected state of naivety and self-deception. So occupy your house. If your energy is not in your chakra system, it's because you aren't willing to feel. You don't have a strong desire to be here. So I've talked a lot about creating the energy that you want to feel in those chakras in your body so that more of you incarnates, right? More of you. What is, part of what spiritual awakening is conscious incarnation. That's essentially what it is. It's the energy of spirit and soul coming into the body and you consciously incarnating. And that means putting your consciousness in the parts of your mind represented by the chakras and really located in the chakras, instead of letting the momentum of unconscious conditioning play out, right? So if I'm not in my house, I'll disconnect from myself. I'll act like a starstruck child, and I'll ignore all the information that's like hitting me from every angle that's saying, turn around, turn around, turn around, right? And again, in your lifetime, you may have not placed an emphasis on discernment. My lifetime, this lifetime, has placed an emphasis on learning discernment because it's a quality that I wanted to incorporate in my human existence. So, another example of naivety. Let's say you're in I use legal situations often. I used to be a lawyer. A lot of my friends are lawyers. A lot of my friends have had legal situations, right? Whether it's divorce, whether it's will contests, and so on. And, right, if you say, for example, well, everybody means well. Well, everybody means well. Everybody's doing their best. It's like, yeah. Sure. And a spiritual teaching might say, just give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't stay aware of what is, right, you can't take an appropriate action to help yourself, whether that action is an attitudinal or mental adjustment, which in the case of being in a legal action, realizing that, okay, I know in my heart the outcome that I would like, that feels fair, that feels right, and I'll hold it in my heart, and I won't feel afraid or intimidated by anything outside of me. But if you allow yourself to be naive, right, you might not hire the right person to help you. You might, if you say, people are always, trying their hardest, and I feel like, maybe I should just hire my friend to do this. Maybe I should just hire my friend to do this for me. It's like, well, your friend isn't a specialist in this matter. And that's not a good choice, right? But this unconscious female energy of just kind of disconnecting from the reality and being kind and soft and doing the right thing, right? That's unconscious female. Why is it unconscious female? It's disconnected from the male, which is like sturdy and stable. And it's like, no, I know exactly what to do here. And like I said, I personally approach everything from the mental level and the attitudinal level. If I were in a legal action or if I were in a situation where somebody was being aggressive towards me, I would love them. I would place them in the light. I would realize that not them or even the law or anything is against me or more powerful than me, that my life is an outpicturing of what I understand myself to be. And I would hold a sturdy, calm, but firm, resolute decision to say, okay, all right, I know what I want. I want the resolution, right? I want to be happy. I want everybody to be happy. I want this to be a win-win, and I want to move through this quickly, right? That's healthy. That's a calm approach, but firm and forward moving. The unconscious female gets lost in sensation, right? Lost in naivety, lost in, they collapse, right? Unconscious female energy will have you collapse, right? I'll just hire my friend to do this, because that would be the nice thing to do. Yeah, but then you'll get screwed over, right? That's not the right decision. So, right, these anecdotes help illustrate the trickster of naivety. Naivety is not a high vibration. Naivety is it's a disconnected, maniacal a form of happiness to the ego. Because in naivety, right, if I'm disconnected from the neck down, from what I feel about a situation, then I'm disconnected from the possibility of taking a right action. Because if I refuse to see something as it is, I'm responding to a virtual reality. I'm responding to a story I have about it instead of the reality of it. Yes, everyone is God. Yes, everyone is the divine. Yes, you attract people that are like aspects of your mind. But sometimes the lesson that we need to learn is to incorporate the healthy male and to express into the world more, right? Express into the world. So make a decision, right? If somebody, like in the story of the temple, if I were to have said, I'm going to wait at the door, I actually don't feel like going in, I may have hurt somebody's feelings. She may or may not have understood That's not my problem, right? Because my prerogative is to stay in alignment with what is real for me. And of course, it's perfect because what I ended up doing showed me something very valuable. And just how high the stakes are, at least for me, of going against myself. So I have the gift of very clear sight, and I have a purview of being like, hey, my life seems to be a kind of enhanced, extreme version of like lessons, discernment, compassion, everything. But the good thing about that is that it's very clear to me. It's very clear to me. I walk a very narrow path, and when I stray from it, boom, there's entities. And by the way, again, the entity thing, right? What else could attract an entity? And what to do? I mean, if you can feel it, that's helpful, because no matter what you have going on in your energy field, you can heal it in an instant. I remember, if there's someone in your life who's very antagonistic, whether it's an ex-partner, an ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-friend, ex-business partner, when you tune into them, right? When you tune into someone, you build a psychic bridge to them. And if you tune into someone who's working with a lot of dark juju, you invite that juju into your experience, because you are giving permission, you are putting your attention on it, instead of releasing the psychic bridge, withdrawing your attention and saying, oh no, like I don't need to tune into that. I'm going to get in my own energy and know and come to that outcome that I want in my mind. And that's it, right? But when somebody is harmful, or if you're dealing with somebody who's very antagonistic to your experience, sometimes the lesson is just like, withdraw your attention from it. Because when you tune into something, like I said, you build a psychic bridge, and whatever they're working with is invited to you by your permission, because you don't love yourself enough to stop tuning into that thing. Right? And so in that case, like, that's self-deception. That feels awful to me to think about. It feels awful to me to have nostalgia about that person. It feels awful to me to talk to that person's friends or that person's family. It feels awful to me to tune into that, yet I'm doing it anyway. So the part of your mind that invites that in is self-deception, lack of self-respect, right? Lack of self-respect in the mental, energetic world of what I put my attention on. Because what you put your attention on, you become entangled with, right? If you tune into like dark stuff on the news, or, many realities, right? We can't be naive about some of the stuff going on in the world, for example. But when you tune into it after a certain threshold, you start to become it, right? You start to invite things like it into your mind. And it could be, there's this, I love to stare at the train wreck phenomenon. That's a part of your mind that would attract something like that. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people think that human minds are so fascinating, no matter how dark they are. You want to study the serial killer? All right, good luck. Okay, good luck. You know what I'm saying? It's part of your mind that holds a fascination with a part of your mind that seduces you into staying tuned into something, which is a type of naivety, and it's a type of self-deception. So please, right, if you want to practice self-love, if you want to feel clear in your energy field, don't tune into things that feel bad to you. There is value in becoming aware. There is value in becoming aware, because we can't stay blind to things, right? But you know when you've gone overboard. It starts to rile your emotions. It's like a food for that reactive body, right? Then you're starting to vibrate with it. And that's harmful to you. So, again, naivety is seductive, because if I stay blind to reality, maybe I won't have to make decisions. I won't have to hurt anyone. I won't have to face myself, right? I won't have to actually express myself. But the consequences, there are consequences, right? And it's okay. But the consequences can also appear in the form of financial troubles, or health problems, you know, and why? Part of self-love is loving yourself enough to stop tuning into things that hurt you and stop inviting them in by your permission, by you giving them permission, by giving your attention to them. So I hope I've shed some light on naivety and self-deception. A lot of, especially females who are in unconscious female energy, they think that being good or doing the right thing is all about just doing the nice thing, being the nice girl, being kind, you know, giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to give people the benefit of the doubt. But if you do so to the exclusion of information that you're being shown or given, you're going to get screwed over. Period. This is why people ask, like, I feel like I'm happy. I feel like a good person. Like, why does stuff happen to me? It's because there's a disconnection from reality. There's a lack of awareness, a lack of willingness to see something because of fears of how you might need to respond to it. So I hope I have shed some light on this again. I will talk, I'm channeling a lot about unconscious male and female. It seems to be something that I'm receiving information on in abundance, and I'll continue to share, because I think if you can catch yourself in it, right? If I can catch myself in that night, again, naivety and the awe and joy of existence are different. How are they different? The joy of existence feels like a radiance, and it's very much connected to your whole being. Naivety literally feels like you're a balloon just like floating up in the air, like floating above reality, not connected to reality. Start to try to feel the difference. So if you interact with someone who lies to you over and over and over and over, and you find you feel like you're in a haze, right? You feel like you're in a haze, like you know better, but you're falling for it again. You're falling for it again. That's your unconscious female floating into that tank of naivety, right? Of naivety, of denial. And you're not connected to the reality, so you can't respond appropriately. If you're aware that somebody is lying to you, you just stop interacting with them, right? Because you can't interact with somebody. You can't interact with a story that's completely disconnected from reality, right? You can't interact with that. There's no point. There's no communication. So you just simply and easily cut the communication, right? Enough. And if you keep communicating with them, if you try to fix them, right, that part of your mind is what would invite them. The part of you that needs to fix them, the part of you that needs to prove a point, the part of you that needs to punish them, the part of you, none of that is necessary. You just clean cut, done, right? This is self-respect. This is boundaries. And yeah, that's my message for today. I know it was a powerful one. It's like I said, I deliver things with energy because I've learned them in intense ways. So have a good day.